Is it some bright ride on my core? This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm here to do a reading on Clarissa and Papoose, because rumors out here on the YouTube streets is that allegedly Papoose has broken up with Clarissa. Now, according to Google, it's just rumors and recent speculation, but there is no confirmed party saying that they have officially broken up. However, what Google did verify, though, is that they are in a turbulent turmoil relationships that is, what did it say? Yes, the media says that the relationship is turbulent. So because of that, it shows that there is some discourse within the relationship. It looks like, at least from what we have seen from Mama Crone and Baby Crone over here, it looks like Papoose has been slowly distancing himself from Clarissa. And you can see that Clarissa was trying to get him hype and make jokes about it. Some people are coming to his defense. You know, it's either or. It could be how any one of us wants to choose to look at it, because we don't have the full context of the story. Sometimes some people could be low energy that day. That could have been Papoose. Maybe he was distracted on his phone. Maybe he just didn't feel like being bothered with the camera, and Clarissa just wanted to clown and play around with him. You know, there's different things like that that can happen within relationships that sometimes cameras just accidentally happen to capture. But hey, that's the day and age that we live in, where technology just captures moments you really don't wish it captures sometimes. So because of that, I'm here to pull some cards on Clarissa and Papoose to see how's their relationship doing. Because like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's see how turbulent or how in sync Clarissa and Papoose are with each other. Or if they're even together and they're just pretending for face for the internet. We're just going to leave it right there. I was going to try to shuffle it out, but I'm just like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to shuffle that one out. It was a good chunk of cards anyway. So the first card that's going to come out is going to represent Papoose, since they're saying he has allegedly been the one that has left Clarissa. So let's see how Papoose is feeling in his relationship. The Ace of Pentacles, almost weirdly like one of the 1 minutes that just went out this week. Let's see what comes out next. And the next card is obviously going to be Clarissa. The Two of Pentacles. Okay. I like this. Let's see what their block card is, because we know there's a problem. There's some discourse, some turbulence in the relationship. And what is that block? The Ace of Wands. Okay, these cards are actually looking really good, guys. In the sense that it's juicy. This is going to be a good reading, I believe. Let's see what's going to be at the foundation. The King of Pentacles. Okay. In the past, the Two of Cups. Okay, interesting. In the present, in the head, we have the Queen of Wands. Interesting. Then in the future, we have the Ten of Pentacles. I'm not surprised. So what I see here in this reading is that right here, their block problem is the Ace of Pentacles, is the Ace of Wands. However, Papoose came out as the Ace of Pentacles. So there's two types of beginnings happening here. And whatever these two types of beginnings happening, Clarissa and the past are giving the two energy of trying to bring harmony and unity and balance back together, being partnership, being in communication and working together and finding the balances and the ebbs and the and the ebbs and flows of life. However, in the present moment, we have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, masculine energy and feminine energy. But they're not on the same page in that sense, because Wands and Pentacles are actually, they pretty much do not have anything in common when it comes to elemental, how, and in terms of how the elements play off of each other. Wands and there it is, Wands and Pentacles, because elementally they just have the least in common. So because of that, there is a sense of distance and disconnect between them. Maybe at once there was on one page, but now somebody else is on a different page, and that somebody else could be Papoose. And I'll get back to that in the future, funnily enough. But looking at the future, we have the Ten of Pentacles, talking about usually crowdedness, but usually you think you got it all and you're trying to hold it all together because you have reached the pentacle, you have reached the status, the dream, the vision, and everything. So when you reach everything, you know, they say you can't always have everything in life. So because of that, sometimes you got to let things go and push some things out of your life when you're starting to get crowded and full in that sense. So now to the future, coming back to this Two of Cups and this Two of Pentacles. The reason why I say this Ace of Wands is a block card is because, hear me out, in the past, the Two of Cups, Clarissa, Papoose, it was a great union. They were on one accord. They was on one page. They were in sync. They got each other. They were on that vibe. They were working to that beautiful, harmonious relationship, like they were talking about on the Breathless Club, about how even though Papoose is still going through his divorce and he's still not divorced, they're still talking about how they're a strong relationship and how they are strong within inside of themselves. However, now things can change, and it seems like things have changed. It no longer is. We're on the same page, but Clarissa, being the Two of Pentacles, is having that kind of Wade energy. And you don't want the earth to wade. You don't want the earth to move. It's like an earthquake. So something is upsetting Clarissa. And the fact is that it's Papoose who's no longer on the same page, no longer on that two energy, that harmony energy. He's on that solo energy, on his own accord instead of our accord kind of thing. Because of that, maybe this is because he just has a lot going on in his life. A continuous divorce, but also Clarissa and her personality and who she is. Sometimes you could just outgrow people. And that's what I could see with this block card is with the Ace of Wands. Different passions, different drives, different mindsets, different things that motivate them. And so because of that, sometimes it's just best to go your separate ways. That's exactly why I see here the 10, that King of Pentacles at that foundation. Maybe this is why I'm going to say Clarissa was seeing Papoose as just somebody who was financially, they both could have been seeing each other that was financially stable, but because I see a separation and a sort of not on the same chapter or even on the same wavelength, I see that maybe this this King of Pentacles represents how Papoose is feeling about himself, where the Queen of Wands is how Clarissa is feeling about herself, because Clarissa, she's passionate, she is a lot of energy, and so because of that, that type of individual could be I'm not going to say hard for the King of Pentacles to tame, but fire could burn up earth pretty quickly. Fire can burn up everything this King of Pentacles has worked for. So because of that, there's got to be, if we're going to work together, we got to find a way to work together that's not going to be destructive in the sense. So that's what I'm seeing that's working on the undercurrent underneath. And that's why this Ten of Pentacles is showing that, weirdly enough, as I said, outgrowing. The Ten of Pentacles, you usually think it's great. It's legacies that you're leaving behind. But when you think about when it's a legacy you leave behind, you have to go somewhere else. So it's like either whether that's a dying or like a transitional thing from leaving assets at one place as you go to another place. So because of that, it's always I gotta move out of this situation into a new situation. 10 of Pentacles, and what am I leaving behind? What kind of impression, lasting impression do I leave behind? That's your legacy metaphorically. Ooh, yes, clock it. So that was a really good reading for the 10 of Pentacles. I really did break that one down. And I'm going to pull out some some outside influences to see what is the energy that is causing them to no longer be in harmony with each other, that they have outgrown each other. We see the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. Well, sadly, it's a bunch of swords. That's the only thing that I got, because weirdly enough, there was no swords in their main reading, but then when we pulled to the outer reading, it was everything. It was nothing but swords. We have the Knight of Swords is usually as a messenger, but also it is sometimes it's hard to be cautious when you're moving fast, because when you're moving fast, you're not able to process. And you can process, well, your brain processes things quickly, but your conscious brain doesn't process it as quickly as your subconscious. So because of that outside energy influence that I'm talking about, there was some underlying discourse that Queen of Wands and King of Pentacles and their elements not quite seeing eye to eye elementally. That was that undercurrent, that Knight of Swords energy. They probably rushed into it. It felt good. It felt like they were in harmony and unison because it was so different. It was so fresh. It was like, oh my God. Sometimes you get drawn to the things that are so peculiar and outside of yourself and so different, because you're looking for that spark. You're looking for that something that doesn't feel like the usual. So you want like a different cup of tea. But then we have the Four of Swords, which symbolizes a time to take out for themselves. That's exactly what they did. They took their time to get to know each other behind the scenes as they was not parading on the internet, but as they were going around doing their rounds in media, talking back and combating rumors about them struggling, about them and how their relationship is way better than what the media is making it out to be. They took that time out for themselves to get acquainted with each other, to get to know each other even more. That's why they had taken a back seat and we didn't see them in the limelight. And then suddenly they were in the limelight and now they've like disappeared out of the limelight again. But because of that, Clarissa always has a way to keep herself in the media. But I'm quite curious what Clarissa is up to recently, especially in the boxing industry. However, looking into the future, we see the Four of Wands, which symbolizes, again, with that 10 of Wands energy, 10 of Pentacles energy. It's a Four of Wands. It's also about transitions where we're meeting each other, moving from one phase to another. And that's exactly what I see here. Now, the question is, are they going to continue going on through this next phase and chapter with each other and ignore the 10 of Pentacles energy and continue to crowd their lives, is the question, in the sense of not leaving the relationship sooner than they should, or maybe somebody is trying to outplay or outlast the relation energy that isn't there anymore. As we see the Seven of Swords energy, which is somebody that tries to sneak away, but I just recently learned that sevens are victories. So because of that, this Seven of Swords, even though it's somebody stealing, somebody being mischievous, somebody that thinks that they're getting away with something, that is a sense of a victory. But it's the sense of maybe lying to yourself, being deceitful to yourself, and you're thinking that you're going to get away with it, and you're just going to continue to stay in a relationship that has long-lived its expiration date, aka the 10 of Pentacles. But let's just see, and I'm going to pull some oracle cards. Because honestly, there's no like true turbulent cards. Like I don't see the Devil, I don't see the Tower, I didn't see the Judgment. What are some other ones? I didn't see the Chariot. I didn't see the Hangman. I didn't see the Hierophant, where it's like they're challenging norms and traditions. I didn't see the High Priestess or the Moon, where it's so subconscious, moody, and deep, and things are like hidden beneath the surface that you don't know. And I didn't see the Sun, which you would think the Sun card would be good, but the Sun also represents an expose and exposing everything for everyone to see. It's like I didn't see like any negative cards. Actually, all their cards are mundane. Actually, in fact, not even a major arcana card came out. So I'm actually quite curious, is everything with Remy Ma and not Remy? It actually makes me wonder, is everything between Clarissa and Papoose momentarily, like this is just a phase and period that they're going through, and that maybe in the future it's going to be different, or the temperament is going to change, because the court cards are all about mundane, everyday life things. But those things can start to build up and add up if you don't work on them, and they can mount up to major arcana cards. And I didn't see any major arcana cards, but I don't think we need it with 2 aces and the 10 of pentacles, honestly. But hey, let's just pull some cards to figure out, how is Papoose and Clarissa's relationship? How's their synergy together? Well, we got news, we got bloodline, big ego. To humor myself, just one more card. Oh, Dawn. I like that. Okay, excuse me. Bless me. So the news card symbolizes Knight of Swords energy, a messenger, but is it news to them or news to us? Let's dig a little bit deeper. Next thing I see here is a bloodline, which weirdly enough, I was talking about legacies and the things that you leave behind. That's exactly what a bloodline is, but also it could be just the things that you are attached to, and it could be just the simple fact that because Papoose is still married to Remy Ma, and like I keep wanting to have a Freudian slip and want to keep saying Remy. It's like Remy is always right there. So it's like the bloodline, the history of Papoose keeps popping up, and Clarissa too, because it takes 2 to tango in a relationship. But there's still a sense of something from the past. Weirdly enough, I listed all the cards here in the major arcana that would represent these kinds of energies, because I feel like the bloodline is the Chariot card as I speak, talking about the past that you're trying to outrun or trying to outlive, coming back to bite you. And then that kind of goes right in hand with the 10 of Pentacles energy. But I also see here a big ego, which makes me question, who has the big ego, and is it bad to have a big ego? Because sometimes, yeah, you can be cocky, but are you cocky and arrogant, or are you cocky and humble? Because is it like a flex, or is it just you just got like overconfidence? That's the best way to get it. When those people that are just like so confident, just so overly confident that you just can't think anything bad happens to them. They got it all together. They always look good. It's like, man, you never have a bad day. Big ego type thing. So because of that, that's what I'm seeing here. That's their power weapon that they have, presenting to the news and to the media, that they're this big power couple. And maybe this relationship, for both of their egos, they needed to sustain and last because of all the naysayers. And if the naysayers win, then it's kind of like they let themselves down, if you get what I mean. So it's like trying to fight up against the negative forces, even though you should just not fight up against the negative forces. But hey, who knows? Maybe there truly is some sort of love there. But like I said beforehand, before I flip the script, I don't see a sense of harmony. But like I said, that could just be right now. Maybe they're just going through a phase right here in this period, a season where they're just not on the same accord, and they just need to get on the same page in the future. Because like I said, just mundane cards. This could easily change like next week. So because of that, that's what this Dawn card is giving me. talking about, like, weirdly enough, the sun, about the dawn, about brighter days and brighter futures, and having light and positivity, being optimistic, that just because one chapter or one dark period came, it's just the cycle of life. Like I said, with the Two of Pentacles, the reality shifting, the ebbs and flows of earth bending reality, having its ups and downs, because that's just life. And then the dawn represents that cycle of, just because there's a dark period in a relationship doesn't mean that there isn't going to be a even better, positive, light energy in the future for the relationship if you just stick it out through the dark period. So that's like the kind of sense of energy that I'm getting here with Remy Ma, with Clarissa and Papoose. Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. This is just me starting trouble over here. I just want to pull some cards on Remy Ma. How is Remy Ma doing in all of this? Because she too is still somehow a part of it, because she is still married to one of the parties in this relationship. So just want to pull some cards, 3 cards on how Remy Ma is feeling. Okay. Sorry, I had to go get the other cards. The other cards fell face down, so let's see what the other 2 cards were. I mean, it was a whole lot that fell out, but let's see what the next 2 cards would have been. Oh, You remember how I said there was no major arcana cards? Well, Remy Ma is the major arcana cards. We have the Fool, we have the Chariot, and we have the Emperor. I almost want to pull another card, but I'm scared to figure out if it's going to be another major arcana card. But yeah, how Remy is feeling in all of this with Papoose and Clarissa, and what's going on, and how she feels about Papoose moving on into another relationship while they're still technically in a relationship. So is it cheating? Is it not cheating? Is he an ex? Is he not an ex? That just seems like the question these days. But Remy Ma is feeling like the Fool. Now, the Fool is also kind of like an ace, about starting a new beginning. But also the Fool feels as though is being thrown out into the wild. Well, actually not really thrown out to the wild, but thrown out into the wild as in the sense of it's an open field. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to come next. But whatever it is, you're going to trudge forward and keep moving forward and keep pressing, even though the unknowns could be, in this sense, it's not scary, because when you don't, if you just think about it being like a blank slate. Like if you don't know the dangers or the negative, or what negativity could come up against you. Like they say, out of sight, out of mind, or you just can't think of things that are like not within inside of yourself. So because of that, that Fool energy knows that it's got all the tools. It has trust within its intuition that it's going to be able to guide itself through any sort of situation that it gets thrown at. And that's how Remy Ma is feeling, that she is triumphant still in the end, because she is finding her way of navigating through this situation outside of what their relationship is. And this Chariot symbolizes that what she has, like they say, what she has done for Papoose, and like what they, and how they were, everything that they have achieved and everything that they have gone through and been through, stood by each other, ride or die, Chariot energy, ride or die energy, and to grow out of that. It means to still be that person, but to want to give that type of energy to somebody else feels like a baggage, feels like a burden, feels like too much to even try to think and comprehend and try to move forward to in a new path, because the hurt, the trauma, and the marriage is still there. So it's hard to move past because she still feels married to Papoose in a sense. But she knows that whatever past they have divulged and whatever it is for Papoose that he doesn't. Some people say Remy Ma is the one holding up the divorce, and then other people say it's Papoose holding up the divorce. Whoever is holding up the divorce is like a chariot. It's almost, the chariot's kind of giving me like a undercover devil energy where it's like a chain around their necks, but they both have the chains around their neck. And they can easily just take the chains off and they don't have to be bound to the situation any longer, but they just choose to stay bound to the situation longer than they need to. I think Papoose and Clarissa is like the same situation. It's like deja vu. And maybe that's what Remy Ma could see from an outsider looking in, that Papoose has just gotten himself into another Remy Ma. So it was like, do you want me? Do you not want me? It's like all this. But we have the Emperor here. And the Emperor is symbolizing the masculine energy that Remy Ma had to muster up within inside of herself to truck forward. Because masculine energy is all about pursuing, all about being active, not staying stationary. And because the Emperor is fire, and it could also represent creative seed. She is taking her feminine energy and transmuting it and changing it into a strong inner fire that's driving her to keep moving forward, like I was saying with this Fool energy. So how she's feeling about Papoose, it's feeling like cutting your losses, but also picking, like they say, pick up your crown, king or queen, because you dropped it. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's getting reconnected to who she is and who she was, and becoming that Remy Ma bad bee energy. So because of that, she's becoming head bee in charge again of her own life. And it's like whatever Papoose and Clarissa is doing and whatever they got going on is whatever they got going on. And whatever I got going on is whatever I got going on. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading with a surprise peek in on Remy Ma. With that being said, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. Leave your comments down below if you haven't commented already. How do you feel about the love triangle, the entanglement of Remy, Papoose, and Clarissa? It's a saga that's going to keep on giving until there is a divorce, and I want to see this one out, honestly. With that being said, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already and become a beautiful sunflower and spread those beautiful sunflower seeds, just like the Queen of Wands. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. But you know what I say before I go? Hype us up. Subscribe to us. Hey, and I'll see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.